Welcome to ThriveGroups. We're so glad to have you here with us this week as we jump into our sermon series, Take Ground, where we're talking about taking ground in your life, your relationships, your habits. And this week we're talking specifically about a faith that waits. We talked about Caleb and how he had to wait for the promise of God before he could take the ground that he needed to take. But before we get into that, we're going to go over our ground rules. We want to encourage everyone to participate and know when to dominate. Also, we start on time, we end on time, so let's stay respectful of the location that we're in. With that, let's jump right in to our opening question. What is your favorite winter activity? I know some people love it, some people hate it, but what's your favorite winter activity? Maybe it's staying inside with a cup of hot cocoa. For me, I have a lot of winter activities I love: skiing and cross-country skiing and sledding and snowshoeing, but I would say probably my favorite is snowshoeing. In fact, the past winter storm that we had, it was snowing so hard, the snow was deep, and I decided, let's go snowshoeing. So me and my wife and one of my daughters, we put on our snowshoes and went out wandering through the woods for a little while, went several miles, and just enjoying every minute of it. But what about you? What's your favorite winter activity? Okay, I'm going to read some verses here and we're going to talk about what stands out to us in them. These are from Joshua 14, starting in verse 10. Now, as you can see, the Lord has kept me alive and well as he's promised for all these 45 years since Moses made this promise, even while Israel wandered in the wilderness. Today, I'm 85 years old. I am as strong now as I was when Moses sent me on that journey, and I can still travel and fight as well as I could then. So give me the hill country that God promised me. You will remember that as scouts, we found the descendants of Anak, these are giants, living there in great walled towns. But if the Lord is with me, I will drive them out of the land, just as the Lord said. So let's take a few moments and talk about what stood out to us in those verses. Next question is, share about a time you had to wait for something. Maybe it's something spiritual, maybe it's a relationship. For me, one thing I can think about is I bought something a couple of years ago on Kickstarter. And Kickstarter, if you're not familiar, they release these prototype ideas and you buy it before it's made, and then once it's made, it ships to you. And I bought this thinking it was going to be 3 to 6 months, ended up being well over a year and a half before I got it. I had to wait a long time, almost forgot about it several times. Then they messed up the address, and then I finally got it. So I had to wait a long time for it. But what's something that you had to wait for in your life? Next question is, share about a time that you had to endure something. Again, maybe it's a financial problem, maybe it's a relationship, situation at work, physical problem. For me, I had a really bad ingrown toenails. I know it sounds gross, but I did, and I had to endure it for well over a year. Part of it was my own stubbornness of not wanting to get it checked out, and then when I finally did get it checked out, we had to go through all these appointments, and then finally end up having the surgery to get the relief that I needed. But I had to endure some pain for a long period of time. What's something in your life that you had to endure? Final question is, how can you be faithfully patient this week? Maybe you're in the middle of a time you're expecting God to move, but he hasn't moved yet. So what can you do to patiently wait for God this week? Well, thank you so much for joining us for our Thrive group. We're so glad that you're here. We're going to close in prayer. And so if you like, you can share some prayer requests, things that you need prayer for, and then the group's going to pray for that. And I would encourage each person to say a few words. You can pray for a request in the group. You can pray for wisdom or guidance or direction, whatever it may be. When you're done, you can say amen. Next person will go, and then the group leader will close it up. So thank you so much for joining us. Let's close in prayer.